G'day guys, it's Mike from Battlefield Accessories, but also sort of pseudo tournament organiser for the Longstreet campaign for Cancon 2018. So I figured I would spend a little bit of time talking you through the campaign system. Now at the time of recording we've got about 10 or 12 players signed up, so it's a really big push for you to get your mates to sign up, because this thing will be better the more players we have. So I'll do some zoom in. We're going to use the Clint Chadwick rules of house divided, right? If I bring that up here where you can see, fantastic. So this is a area point-to-point movement board game, and it has a map which basically details all of the major cities in the, or major sites in the sort of key theatres of the Civil War. It also links rail and road connections between those sites. So what we basically thought we would do is run this as a sort of, if you like, a scenario generator for the campaign. So basically what will happen is it's marked as Union and Confederate territories to start the game off. So for example, you know, you have Fredericksburg, Manassas Junction, Front Royal and stuff, down to Knoxville, Nashville, you know, and so on. There's the neutral states are in the middle, right, and then you have, you know, Cincinnati and Cairo, Washington, etc., Charleston around the middle. So the idea is that in a turn which will represent, you know, a portion of the year, and if you like, lining up with the Longstreet campaign turns, you'll have the Union and Confederate players alternating making attacks. So for example, the Union might say, well, they occupy Washington, right, and so they launch an attack in their turn from an occupied place to a non-occupied place. So for example, they might go from Washington to Manassas Junction. Now it's in fact a rail link, so they could go from Manassas Junction onto Gordonsville, right, and what the Confederate player can do, if they want to stop them at Manassas Junction, they can use one of their attacks to stop them. That will then give us a battle at Manassas Junction. If they're going along a single road, so for example from Harpers Ferry to Front Royal is a single move, and so that would be one of their attacks. So the Union will put one of their attacks on, then the Confederates will put one of their own attacks on. When that's all done, that'll leave us with a whole series of places where there are battles. We'll then play those battles. So we might say, okay, you two guys are playing the battle at Front Royal. If the Union are victorious and they launched an assault, they'll then occupy that territory. If the Confederates win, they'll of course defend that territory, and the Union will be pushed back. As I said, the one area for roads, two for rail, with the ability to intercept directions of the arrows. So for example, from Cincinnati they can go down the river towards Louisville and so on. And again, they can launch a two section attack, and because it's on the river it can't be intercepted. So what I might do is I'll get the camera and I'll give you a closer look at the map. Okay, so here's the map. You can see these road links and rail links, and if I go across here you can see the rivers. Now with the major cities, so for example Washington and Richmond, they're listed as fortresses, and the only way that you can capture a fortress is basically to isolate each of the connected sections. So for example, to isolate Richmond, I've got to take Gordonsville, Petersburg, Yorktown and Fredericksburg. Once that ring is in place, then basically each turn that's maintained, there's a chance that that city will fall, right? If it's basically roll a dice, get equal to the number of turns it's been besieged, and that will then capture it. For the Confederates, losing key cities like Richmond, Vicksburg and so on reduces their number of attacks. For the Union, losing, you know, Washington, Baltimore and so on has the same effect on there.
Also playing that the Union player can launch coastal assaults, right, and that's basically sailing an army into one of these places, right. If it's successfully captured, right, then obviously it's taken out. The Confeds lose 4 points, then they also lose attack to represent the lack of supplies. So these are the rules that you need. Longstreet by Sam Mustafa. You can pick yourself up a copy on. Probably the digital version is the easiest one to get. There are cards that you need to play the game, but they're available for download off Sam's website. We'll probably have a few spare decks of cards for those who don't have them. In terms of miniatures, at this stage most people are prepping 28mm armies. We actually have a bunch of 28mm armies that are available for loan. I know there's a few other guys that are prepping that have also got some spares. Some people asked about 15mm figures. That should be okay if we get a big enough pool. Again, we've got a massive collection of 15, so if I get 7 or 8 people who want to do 15s, then we can also sort of supply figures for that. In terms of the 28mm, we're going on a 40 by 40 base for infantry, 50 by 50 for cav, and I think this is 60 by 80 for artillery. Shameless plug, if you need some bases, hit up Battlefield Accessories website. It's www.battlefieldaccessories.com.au, and we'll fix you up with bases. Also, we have these artillery or gun carriages which allow you to to get value out of your Perry box with all those spare barrels that you get. So hit those up. So final plug, get stuck into your mates, get people signed up. The word is that Cancon's filling up pretty quick. We've still got notionally 30 odd places left, so there's plenty of capacity there if people want to get in. Pretty much, I reckon by the start of December, Tim will start collapsing places down if we haven't got people signed up. So as I say, get stuck into your friends. It's going to be a massive event, so I look forward to seeing you there.